They thought humanity would break. When the Galactic Council shipped a tiny team of Earth-born explorers to Class-15 Deathworld Sigma-Orionis, every species agreed on one thing: humans wouldn't last an hour. The storms alone could skin titanium. The predators hunted in packs the size of cities. Even the soil was alive, hungry, shifting, waiting. But hope didn't die because the world was dangerous. Hope died the moment the humans opened their helmets and spoke, because the planet listened. And then it answered. If this kind of wild HFY moment pulls you in, hit like so the algorithm knows you're into stories like this. And if you want more short, punchy sci-fi tales, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. Feel free to share this with a friend who loves a good humans are terrifying moment. The galaxy didn't send humans to a Class-15 Deathworld because they trusted them. They sent humans because they didn't, to the Council. Earth was a statistical miracle, a borderline hostile world that somehow produced a species too stubborn to die out. So when Sigma-Orionis on Apex Deathworld needed to be charted, every species placed the same bet: send the fragile primates. Let the planet finish what evolution somehow failed to do. Observers gathered in orbit, amused. The storms were already shredding sensor drones. Trees moved like predators. The ground pulsed with thermal veins. Even veteran Deathworlders kept a respectful distance, but the humans? They stepped out of the lander like it was just another ugly Monday. And that's when the smirks in orbit started to fade. Their boots hit the soil, and the planet reacted instantly. The ground beneath them trembled, not violently, but almost expectantly, as if something ancient was sniffing the air, curious about these soft-looking creatures who didn't flinch at its warning tremors. Above them, the storm front twisted in a slow spiral, changing shape the moment the humans looked up. Veteran observers watching from orbit exchanged uneasy glances. Storms didn't respond to eye contact. Yet the humans didn't notice the growing tension. They were too busy unpacking gear, arguing casually about coffee rations and broken scanners, like they were on a mild hiking trip instead of a world that ate starships. The bet, it seemed, was shifting. The first sign was subtle, a low, distant hum rolling beneath the soil like a heartbeat waking from a long sleep. The humans paused, glancing down, not with fear but with mild curiosity. One of them joked, "Feels like the world's purring." Orbiting observers didn't laugh. Worlds like Sigma-Orionis didn't purr. They growled, screamed, or killed, but this felt almost welcoming. Predators that had been stalking the landing site froze mid-stride. Massive six-legged beasts, each one capable of tearing a shuttle in half, slowly backed away as if reconsidering their life choices. Their eyes stayed fixed on the newcomers, confused by an instinct they didn't understand. Then came the second sign. The thermal veins running through the ground, normally random and violent, began aligning beneath the humans, drawing patterns that no species had ever seen. Lines of molten orange formed a loose circle around the landing site like a protective boundary. Wind patterns shifted next. The storm front, once chaotic, rotated into a controlled spiral over their camp, breaking just enough to let sunlight through, as if the world was clearing its throat to get their attention. It wasn't reacting to their machines. It was reacting to them. The planet had noticed humanity, and it was listening. No one in orbit expected the moment to matter. Humans talked constantly loud, messy, emotional. Words were their comfort, their shield, their weapon. But on Sigma-Orionis, a single human voice carried farther than physics allowed. When Commander Rae Park opened her helmet and spoke, she wasn't giving a command. She was simply testing the air, whispering, "All right, let's start." The planet reacted like she had struck a gong. The soil tightened beneath her boots, forming a firmer surface as if offering support. The winds paused, actually paused, hanging mid-gust like they were waiting for instructions. In the forests beyond, millions of chittering predators fell silent at the exact same moment, their eyes dilating in a synchronized ripple. Alien observers stared at their monitors, speechless. Worlds did not answer to spoken language. They didn't respond to tone. They didn't listen. And yet, Sigma-Orionis behaved like an ancient war beast hearing the voice of its long-dead handler. Ree blinked, unaware of the cosmic shift she'd just triggered. She spoke again, casually this time. "Let's move." The planet moved, first clearing a path through the shifting trees, parting the thorn vines like a royal procession. That was the moment the Council realized. They hadn't sent humans to a Deathworld, they'd sent a commander. The observers in orbit had gone from amused to pale. What they saw next pushed them into full-blown panic. Sigma-Orionis didn't just clear a path, it shifted its terrain. Ridges that had stood unmoved for centuries folded downward like kneeling giants. Stone plates rearranged into steps, guiding the humans toward the valley floor. Even the sky changed. Storm clouds split open, creating a corridor of calm that followed Rae's team like a protective shield. Predators that once ruled the ecosystem crawled out of the underbrush, not attacking, but bowing their heads. Massive taloned beasts clicked their mandibles in quiet submission. Smaller creatures gathered behind the humans as if forming an escort. The Council's Deathworld specialist watched in horror. A Class 15 world was supposed to crush intruders, not serve them. Rae's team finally understood something was wrong when their scanners overloaded. The planet's biosphere was syncing with their heartbeats, matching rhythm, aligning pulses, echoing emotion. Every confident step they took made the world reshape more eagerly, like a war mount rediscovering its rider after millennia. One scientist whispered, "This isn't adaptation. It's loyalty." And loyalty from a Deathworld was the most terrifying thing the galaxy could imagine. By the time the Council sent an emergency landing team, the planet had already made its choice. The newcomers touched down on trembling legs, expecting to rescue a doomed human expedition. Instead, they found Rae's team standing at the edge of a massive canyon one that hadn't existed the day before. Sigma-Orionis had carved it open overnight, revealing glowing networks of ancient roots and stone veins that pulsed like circuitry. It was a display, a message, a warning. Rae didn't posture or claim victory. She simply turned to the Council envoys and said, "We didn't do this. The world listens." As if to prove her point, the canyon floor shifted upward, forming towering spines of jagged rock aimed squarely at the alien delegation. Not a single spike pointed toward a human. For the first time in recorded galactic history, diplomats stepped backward from a species considered physically inferior. Their weapons felt useless. Their armor felt thin. Because if a Class 15 Deathworld recognized humans as masters, what else might follow? Sigma-Orionis rumbled beneath their feet like a creature marking territory. In that moment, fear changed sides. And the galaxy understood a truth too late. They hadn't sent humans to die. They'd sent the universe its new apex.